Second stimulus checks can be less than $1,200 if you are hoping for a second, larger stimulation test. You may be out of luck. Here's what you need to know. As Fox Business reported, White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow said the second stimulus checks could be less than $1,200 and target low-income Americans and those who are unemployed. Why? The answer: cost. Majority of the Senate Mitch McConnell (RKY) wants to target about $1.3 trillion for the next stimulus bill. This is significantly lower than the $3 trillion HERO law passed by the Democrats in the House and the $2 trillion stimulus amount that President Donald Trump is targeting. Trump has also said he wants a second stimulus check that is bigger than Democrat support, which goes against Kudlow's comments. In the HEROES Act, the Democrats in the House proposed a second stimulus check for $1,200 and $1,200 for each dependent, with a maximum of 3 dependents. The delta between Democrats and Republicans on the second stimulus checks and other issues could ultimately be reduced, but some in Washington fear that the next stimulus deal will collapse. This is not the first time that Kudlow has said that the second stimulus checks will be closely tailored. For example, Kudlow told Fox Business last month that the second stimulus checks could focus on those who have lost their jobs and are most in need of financial assistance. However, the size of the second round of Dunning checks is not the only potential limitation. In addition to limiting the dollar amount of second stimulus checks, McConnell said Monday that Congress may limit who is eligible to receive a second stimulus check. Despite popular expectations, not everyone can receive a second stimulus test, and potentially fewer people than the first stimulus test. McConnell did not specifically discuss the eligibility criteria for the second stimulus checks, but he did mention that Americans earning $40,000 or less per year, particularly in the hospitality industry, were the hardest hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. McConnell's comments might suggest that the second round of stimulus checks might have a lower income threshold than the CARES Act, the $2.2 trillion stimulus package that included the first stimulus checks. The CARE Act included a stimulus check of $1,200 for those earning up to $75,000 in adjusted annual gross income, $150,000 for married spousal tax filers. The stimulus check of $1,200 was eliminated, decreased for income over $75,000 and over $150,000 for married, spousal tax filers, and was not accessible to people who earned more than $99,000 and $198,000 for married spouses. Based on these latest developments, here are some key questions for Congress to address. Income limit of $40,000. If you earn more than $40,000 in adjusted gross income, will you get a second stimulus check? Elimination of second stimulus checks. Is $40,000 the maximum income to receive a second full stimulus check, or will this threshold be the maximum income to receive a stimulus check? In other words, will there be second stimulus checks which will disappear like the first stimulus check? Authorization. If the second stimulus checks are for those who have lost their jobs, what if you are on leave? Return to work bonus. Will unemployed Americans receive a second stimulus check plus a return to work bonus? The Republicans in the Senate and the White House want to replace the additional unemployment benefit of $600 per week with a return to work bonus of $450 per week for Americans who return to work. At the same time, Trump called for a second bigger stimulus check, and the Democrats in the House want to keep the second round of stimulus checks the same as the first, but want to increase the dependent payment from $500 to $1,200. Republicans only have 53 seats in the Senate, so they will have to compromise on the next stimulus bill. This compromise could occur with the second stimulus checks, but it could also focus on state and local aid and unemployment benefits, which are two other high-priority issues. Congress will return from recess on July 20 and will work to finalize an agreement before leaving for summer recess after August 7.